Hi there, it's Nicole for Lawn Fawn with an Easter card showcasing the brand new Happy Hatchlings dies. I'm also using some of the simple grassy hillside borders with this card and a couple of new stamp sets. This card is almost entirely created from dies. There are so many amazing dies out there now. I think it's really fun to kind of challenge yourself to create cards with dies only or very few stamps. All of my components today are going to be die cut from some Bristol Smooth cardstock. These are the grassy hillside borders. Those are going to go along the bottom edge of the front of the card. All of these are the components from the Happy Hatchlings die collection. A cute little chick, a polka dot egg, a stripe egg, there's a solid one, and then the little feet and beak. I'm going to need several of these solid eggs, one for back behind the chick, one to back the polka dot egg, and then one to use as the base for the stripes card. Also, one of them, there's this great little accessory die, and you can make a cracked egg from that. I think these work fantastic not only for creating cards and other Easter themed paper crafting projects, but scrapbook page layouts. The size of these would be awesome to create a fun little Easter scene border, Easter decor, lots of fun things like that. On the grassy border that's going to go on the forefront of the card, I'm stamping the word happy from the Happy 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 stamp set, and then the word Easter from the Hoppy Easter mini stamp set. I like the combination of the traditional font with a scripty font underneath it. You can mix and match from all of your stamp sets that you have to create exactly the greeting that you want to use for your card. These are stamped with Versamark ink, and then I'm heat embossing with some Simon Says stamp, fine detail white embossing powder. I'll do a little embossed resist and with some distress inks, and that's going to make the greeting really pop out from the border. Once I have all of my die cut elements, I'm ready to start adding color with the distress inks. The foam ink blending tools, I think, blend the distress inks beautifully on this Bristol Smooth cardstock. I love it. I'm applying Twisted Citron to the grassy borders first. You can see the greetings start to kind of pop out once I get that ink on the paper. Move that aside for just a second and add some Twisted Citron distress ink to my other border as well. The inks are going to blend really nicely on these borders, on all of the paper. Once I have the Twisted Citron added to both of the panels, I'll take a little Mowed Lawn Distress ink and add that really just along that jaggedy grass edge, and then blend that all together again with the Twisted Citron, especially for the border that's going to go along the front of the card. I want to make sure that you can read the greeting really well. Once the ink's in place, I like to take a dry paper towel and buff that embossed area to really make the white pop. The chick is going to be colored with Squeezed Lemonade Distress ink. This is a perfect color for a little chick. I even used a little carved pumpkin just along the bottom edge, blended that out with the Squeezed Lemonade to add a little bit of depth and dimension, I guess, to that image. I'm using a scrap piece of paper to keep my fingers out of the ink. That is important when working with any paper like this. I noticed traditional smooth cardstock, like maybe Nina, doesn't happen as much, but watercolor cardstocks, I find that it'll leave fingerprints, so I like to usually use a scrap of paper to keep my fingers out of the ink as much as possible. The little feet and beak are also colored with carved pumpkin distress ink. For the eggs, go ahead and blot some of that ink dry. I'll go ahead and attach the feet to the bottom of the chick using some Zots Bling glue dots. So super cute. I think it would be fun to create a bunch of these, or maybe even have one look like he's coming up out of an egg, or put a little broken eggshell on his bottom half and have him walking around with his little feet sticking out of that. I think that would be cute as well. I used a glue dot to attach the beak, and I'll be adding some black soot distress ink to a solid egg after a bit that'll be layered behind that to make the eyes pop. The cracked eggshell is colored with the picked raspberry distress ink. One of the solid eggs is going to be colored with carved pumpkin. And then the polka dot egg with wilted violet, and I'll layer the wilted violet egg over the orange one. For the striped egg, each of these strips is going to be colored with a different color of ink. Picked raspberry, carved pumpkin, squeezed lemonade, twisted citron, and wilted violet are the colors I'm going to use. Using one of the solid eggs as a guide for attaching the strips makes it so much easier to reassemble that particular egg, I think. For the background of the chick, I did use that black soot. That's going to make the eyes really pop. You could also just put a little piece of black cardstock back behind there, or even die cut an egg shape from black cardstock to place behind that egg. The sky, or the background of the card, will be created from another piece of Bristol Smooth cardstock. I'm applying some Salty Ocean Distress ink to this panel. I don't have to take the ink all the way to the bottom because it will be covered up with the grassy borders. I'm spritzing on a little water from a distress sprayer and then blotting that dry to distress the sky just a tiny bit. Attach the wider or taller grassy border to my card base. The card base with the stamped and embossed greeting is going to be attached with some foam adhesive. That'll help build the scene and give the scene just a little bit more dimension. I can start attaching the eggs and the chick. Some of the pieces are going to be tucked behind grassy borders. Some are going to be in front. That all makes the scene kind of come to life and adds interest. Here's where I'm assembling those strips to the solid white egg. Makes it really so easy to make that little cute striped die cut egg. I'll attach the whole thing to a white side fold card base and round the corners with a 1/2 inch corner rounder. Softens the edges of the card a bit. I used glossy accents for the beak on the chick. And then I'm adding a scattering of Pretty Pink Posh sparkling clear sequins in the 6mm and 4mm size. Going to add a little sparkle to the card. I'm adhering these with some Zots Bling glue dots. I love these for applying little embellishments like sequins because there's no liquid glue mess. I'm going to take a white opaque pen and add some little dots to the tummy area of the chick. I think it's a little hard to tell in the video, but in the photo at the end of the video and at the beginning, you can see those dots a little better, and they really add a fun little touch to the little chick. Finally, I'm going to take an ink dauber and pinken that little chick's cheeks with some Spun Sugar Distress ink. That is going to finish off this Easter-themed card showcasing the Lawn Fawn Happy Hatchlings die collection, the simple grassy hillside borders, as well as a couple of new stamp sets from the latest release. The supplies I used to create this Easter card are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Here are a couple more videos showcasing new stamps and dies from the latest Lawn Fawn release that you might be interested in. Please subscribe for weekly card making and stamping videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.